All right. I'm really bad with introductions. With me today is Rogue and Vipa. We're gonna watch a few MaxBox clips over here and discuss some of the things we see and whether or not we think these people are cheating. So, how's it going, guys?
It's going pretty good. I'm excited to witness the famed MaxBox doing some analysis and see what's going on.
How about you, Rogue?
Yeah, I really can't wait. Apparently there's some juicy stuff going on here, so I'm really excited.
All right, so let's get started. First, we're gonna watch one clip here that he had in his first episode of his first season, which is technically about 4 or 5 episodes after he started this. He started making a syndicated format. He put up about a 30-second clip here, and in the end, he called this guy a hacker. And this is his analysis of it, and we're gonna watch it here real quick, and you guys tell me what you think.
What did he just?
All right, guys, what do you think? If you want, I can play it again.
Well, I want to address the Gibbous thing first off. I mean, I know when I'm playing sniper in pubs, I always use the Gibbous, so I think you can just go ahead and disregard any bias that would come from what hats the guy's wearing.
I agree. I agree.
And the other thing, the thing I noticed right off the bat was when he said he was pre-firing the sniper on roof. You maybe rewind to that part because I'm not sure, but yeah. I'm pretty sure that I saw the sniper's head peek up before he aimed at that spot.
Sure, we can watch it again. I'm not sure if we can play it in slow motion though. I will increase the resolution here and let's see what happens. I can actually slow it down and zoom in when I edit the video so we can see that clip, but I agree with it. You can clearly see the sniper's head pick up.
You can see it pop up a little bit to the right of that.
Yeah. I'm also kind of curious where he got the trigger bot from. I mean, some of these shots are, seem pretty standard, and he whiffs a couple of them from what I can see anyway. They don't really seem like such obscure shots.
There's another one too. He shoots a sniper in the house, and he doesn't really imply it, but he doesn't mention that the player clearly sees the sniper's trace around and trying to, giving away the location. Looks like the YouTube playback froze here. That's fine. It's all right. But I also wanted to note that you guys didn't notice is that this is a POV demo. This isn't someone spectating someone else. So this is someone who recorded themselves playing and sent it to MaxBox. Now, why would you do that?
Yeah, that is a good point.
Truthfully, this is not anybody cheating. This is a legitimate player. In fact, this is former ETF2L anti-cheat admin Solid playing in a pub on an alt account, memeing on MaxBox, sending it over to him just to see if he would call him a cheater.
Pretty good.
That's really good.
I actually have the chat log with Solid, not only of him sending me the demo files, but his blessings to, I guess, out him on video. So the demo files would be in a link below if anybody wants to check it out. The next clip we're going to see is... Hold on.
The other thing, that I just wanted to, talk about was that he saw one instance where he thought the guy might be walling, even though I think he was wrong, because I'm pretty certain that I could see the sniper's head before he pre-aimed. He concluded that he was walling on one clip that looked maybe somewhat fishy.
And I'm really hung up on the trigger bot. He says there's a trigger bot with almost no evidence. There's so many times the cursor goes over different characters, over heads, and he either misses or body shots instead. So where was that even from?
He doesn't even explain it either.
Yep.
Right now I'm trying to get this video working. This kind of fucking sucks. It's like stuck on. Can I refresh this page? Okay, so I refreshed the page. Perfect. I'm gonna see if I can skip ahead so we don't have to watch it again. Alright, so we're gonna watch the second clip here. This clip is actually a lot shorter. There's only one frag in it. Um, Again, like before, we're gonna listen to MaxBox's analysis, and then we're gonna discuss what we think about that clip, what we think about his analysis, and come to our own conclusions.
Sounds good.
What did you guys think of that?
Uh, so if the clip where the guy took a ton of shots wasn't enough evidence, I think this guy taking one shot is definitely not enough, especially given that they didn't really do anything that a normal person couldn't do. They did a surf, which isn't even really something you can cheat with easily, at least. And then they hit a pretty straightforward shot where they just barely moved their mouse after they zoomed in. So that's definitely not enough to make any sort of conclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you don't even need cheats to make a shot like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean the shot that he hit was like relatively routine. It just was remarkable because he hit it after the surf.
The only thing that's different from this clip that we saw in the last one is, well, there's two things. One, this second clip that we watched is in the top 10 plays of the month of April of 2016. And if you guys remember, the VAC ban wave happened that month. The player in question was actually affected by that VAC wave. So he did use MaxBox, and I know for certain he was using it as early as October 2015, because I actually have a few YouTube clips of myself reviewing this guy, trying to catch him, and I had some pretty strong evidence, but I dropped the ball there, and I actually never sent it over to the admin, so that's totally my bad. But in the context of this one clip that he showed, I don't think he even needed cheats to make that kind of shot. He could have been walling, sure, but there's no evidence, and to say that, oh, this guy was cheating just because he had the VAC ban, I think what MaxBox was trying to go for is more of the controversial thing of like, hey, this guy was in the top 10 play of the month and he was a hacker. They displayed a hacker kind of thing.
I agree completely. And that's especially sort of he really goes to show that because he only shows the one clip. Like, of all the stuff that guy did, just that one little shot, and then no explanation, no additional evidence. It's definitely kind of like almost a low blow just to try and get a hit in, you know?
Yeah, I think, like, I don't know, if you're, just because the user in question is confirmed to have cheated does not necessarily mean that he was cheating in that exact clip, because they don't. It's not like the people that use cheats, you know, have them on all the time or are using them at every second. He could have just been playing the game. You don't necessarily know that he was using a cheat in that exact instance because there wasn't any evidence that to suggest that he was cheating at that moment. I mean, like you said, he could have been walling, but you don't know if he was. There's no way to tell.
Another thing that I noticed is that he had the POV demo of that clip. I guess he added Lucky Luke or X-Sign and got it from him, but he had the demo, so instead of like trying to find any point in the match where he can find actual evidence, he just went with the actual clip that they used in the top 10 and put that in his video and said the guy was cheating without actually analyzing it any.
Was that a player that we would know? That looked to be a UGC 4's match from
Yes,
what
it was a
I could
UGC
tell with the
4's
map.
match. His name was Eyes.
I actually don't know who that is.
Yeah, it's not anyone big. He was a steel player in fours and in Highlander, I think it was. But this was, geez, this is a year ago at this point. I don't really remember. And even before that, when I was actually looking and trying to catch him, was in October of the previous year. So about a year and a half was the last time I looked at this guy. So I really don't remember too much. But I recall him being in steel or silver, low silver.
Well, I actually kind of remember that I played that map a long time ago, so I thought the clip might actually be pretty old. And I saw the Australian sniper rifle, so I actually thought for a second it might be Vlad. But then I looked at the loadout, and I remember what Vlad's loadout looked like, and it was
Man, yeah.
different than that.
Vlad had the huge skill jump. It was very noticeable. What the difference in, I guess, settings can do for you for MaxBox comparing Vlad to Eyes here, for example. Because Vlad was able to push his gameplay to the next level, whereas Eyes always felt like he didn't really get anywhere outside of steel just by looking at his STVs.
I mean, from playing against Vlad, because I played against him a fair amount, we used to scrim his team every week, and this was back in, I guess it would have been season 18, right? That was the season that the VAC wave happened.
Yes.
We used to scrim his team every week, and I actually, I guess you could say, dropped the ball, to quote you earlier, because I had suspected Vlad for a long time. I used to complain about it to my teammates that I thought he was cheating, but I never went to the admins about it because I was kind of like worried about, you know, people saying that I was salty because I was getting owned by him, which I was, and I never really like went public with it or tried to get the admins to review his demos. So I kind of like, I regret that. But playing against him, like you really felt like you were playing against a machine because he would just hit those point blank shots like so consistently. It was crazy.
Yeah. He always had a good, I guess, game sense about him too, and now we kind of know why.
Yeah, like the video, there was a video that Dayknife posted on YouTube.
Yes, and that's not the only
I remember
person
that.
he did that, by the way.
Oh, he used to do it to me all the time because I played against him on Spy, and he used to just like absolutely just ghost me, you know. It's like somehow he would just know exactly where I was. It was crazy. Do you know like what specifically was he just like wall hacking to the extent that he could see invisible spies, or do you have some kind of like what was actually the mechanism by which like he could see people or know where people were?
Well, the mailbox and to that extent other cheats have settings that let you see cloak spies. So he could have just been using that. As to if he was using other things, he could have very well been wall hacking because his game sense varies. His game sense was very abnormal, I guess. Like he was always aware of things and people going on around him, where he wouldn't just run headlong into a stupid situation around the corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, like if you play snipers that play really crazy aggressive and have really good aim, right? Like it's like take Barry Center for example. Barry Center hits like a bunch of crazy point blank shots, but sometimes he'll just run into like a player around a corner and feed because he doesn't know that he's there. Vlad was like the same thing, except he would never make that mistake because he obviously knew like where people were before he could see them.
Yeah, dude. I wish there was more STVs of Vlad available so we can all go back and look. Because for sure, if he did that thing to Dayknife and you, there's going to be a lot more STV evidence of it. And it would kind of put it, I guess, an argument to rest. Not that there is much of an argument because he was trying to claim that he hadn't used a mailbox in over a year, but the timing of the vac wave detection didn't match his defense at all. So he's clearly lying about it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like sniper is not really a class that allows for rapid improvement like he had because, you know, he played in steel and or silver, I forget which. I think it actually was steel, maybe low silver for like many seasons before that. and then all of a sudden he was like dunking on the best snipers in the game. And I don't think that, like, if you play sniper for that long, it's a gradual improvement. You might see some skill jumps, but when you see something that drastic, it's not that it's impossible, but it's definitely suspicious.
I recall, I recall screaming against him when he was still in silver, and I forgot that was ringing for a team or something. But I recall then that they were saying, "Oh, that guy is a hacker" and all this stuff. And in fact, if I look at the logs, I could probably find it. I didn't see anything overly suspicious in that scrim I had, but so long ago. But yeah, he's been having accusations done against him since he was at least in silver for sure. But speaking of skill jumps, I think a lot of the Vlad shit like that, and Flair as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I used to play against him as well.
Yeah, the gun spy extraordinaire.
They were boys too, weren't they?
Yeah.
The-
I think the skill jumps like that is kind of like what makes people super wary when new players come about and they're just really good. And like for Boar, for example, everyone was freaking out about him when he first came around.
Oh yeah.
And I think
I mean,
that fear of like, oh, that guy's going through the divisions too quickly. He's climbing up the ladder way too quick. I think everyone is kind of having like a Vlad PTSD over it. So they kind of just like think they're cheating almost right off the bat, even without actually looking at demos yet.
Yeah, I agree with that. And if I could speak to that whole situation, because I actually was like I was on Boar's team back in season 16 when like he got accused of cheating, and you know, a lot of people like didn't really know because he had been subbing for some time, that, you know, he was subbing against for John Madden. I believe they got second in gold in season 15 or 14. And he was like, you know, doing all right against some pretty good snipers. Like, I believe he was backing up for Pharaoh Affer, and there were some pretty good snipers. Like Comanglia, I think, was sniping back then. He did okay against him, so he kind of didn't really come out of the blue as much as Vlad did. Whereas Vlad went from like straight up steal to just owning.
Yeah.
What always gets me about stuff like that too is like when you see someone coming up the ranks, it's not that you can tell right away. You know, you have to look at some of these things, but you know, we look at people like Boar and stuff like that coming up the ranks, and you think, can a human do that stuff? You know, pretty much, yeah. Even in the second clip we watched, a lot of people could hit that shot given the opportunity. But then you watch something like like the clips with Vlad where he always finds these spies. Could normal people do that? Do other snipers at that level do that? Not really, you know. And the same with a lot of these other hacks. It's at the point where people do things that don't really seem possible. That's why it's really confusing when someone gets so good so fast, but then it's almost like it's almost like a tell when suddenly, hey, why can this person do these things that nobody else can, you know?
Yeah, I agree. But you know what? Speaking of Boar, back when those, I guess, accusations or cheat accusations around him first started surfacing, I remember I looked at his STV demos, and I watched them with wireframe on and all that. And you know, the one thing I never did, and I kind of almost want to go back and look now, is you remember that shit that Dynamo got caught using, where he was using the mat hacks, but it only worked on one other player on the other team, which was whatever class he was playing. So if he was playing sniper, you could see the other sniper. I kind of want to see what that would look like on Boar's STVs when he was playing that CP Steel match that Barry put clips up online of. If you guys remember that?
Oh yeah, I was playing in that match. Yeah.
I remember watching that Glassworks, and I didn't see him run into anything stupid. Like, I didn't recall him having any uncanny sense of, I guess, game sense or player location. He would run into the soldier and just run it. He would occasionally run into sight lines, but I never actually got a chance to watch it with that same shit that Dynamo did, and I kind of want to see if that would apply, because that was around back then. I just didn't even know about it. So it'd be cool. I probably won't find anything, but it's just one of those things that I gotta know.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess to some like extent you could say that I'm biased because like I've played with him for I don't know how many seasons now, many seasons, But he's never really been the type of player to inordinately dominate the other sniper. Like, yes, his SVS is good, but if you look at most of his logs, he generally is the kind of sniper that will just kill anything that he can find, and he's not really like an SVS sniper. Like, I also played in the match that Dynamo Vic got caught for that I've seen on your channel on Upward.
Oh my
I was
God.
playing on the other team in that match, and I do remember like Smiles, just our sniper at the time, being so confused by him just getting dominated by Dynamo in the SVS, because he had never really been that kind of player who would always look for the other sniper, and then all of a sudden he was, just destroying our sniper, and we were really confused. And I know like Smiles was kind of like he was bummed out about getting owned so hard, and then in retrospect, when we figured out what was going on, it made so much sense because we were all just confused at the time. And to be honest, I didn't actually suspect him of cheating after that. I just thought Smiles had a really bad game, but it was really that he knew exactly where our sniper was at.
Do you think someone like Dynamo would ever come back to UGC?
I don't think that Dynamo in particular would come back to UGC, because as soon as he got caught cheating, he just gave everything up. He just disappeared from the community. And I don't think that somebody who just realizes that they've been caught and says, you know what, yeah, I cheated, I'm sorry, I'm gone, like, obviously I run my course here, I don't think that he would come back. But I do think that people in similar situations who got caught cheating would come back for a variety of different reasons. Maybe because they want to play again, maybe just because they want to troll people by cheating again. I don't really know, but
I actually have two really good examples of that. In early 2015, or maybe, yeah, I think it was early 2015, a player who had been banned in 2014 for cheating waited out his full ban, came back, and in the very first match he played, he cheated again. He got caught and banned for another year. And on the same token, Cray, the hacker, he got banned, or he got VAC banned, got caught ulting, which extended his ban length, and now his ban is up, and he's playing again. But so far, no one has seen any logs or any suspicious behavior from him, so he could be legit for all we know now. So he probably, maybe, I guess, has reformed or something.
He was banned, I believe, in the same VAC wave that Vlad was banned in, and Kaz and all those other guys, right?
Yes.
Now, you guys remember when Rondego was banned, and he went for a while non-stop trying to prove that he didn't hack, and trying to explain to everyone that he should be unbanned and everything. I definitely agree with the Vipa. Like, some of these guys who sort of not admit that they're wrong, but they just kind of drop it and don't really fight about it. You can sort of tell that they know that the jig is up, right? So I feel like I remember there was talk of Vlad joining like open teams or something, since obviously ESEA didn't catch any of his stuff. But maybe some of these players would come back, especially towards a higher level. I don't think these people would want to come back and like play in Steel as much as someone who got banned in Steel maybe would come back. But at the same time, I also want to mention, I don't even know if this is ever caught Vipa's ears, but maybe we have to also edit this out in post-production. But what about the thing with Heavy Weapons making a return recently, if you know what I'm talking about, Miggy?
Yes, I do, and he played for a little bit and stopped, I think.
Yeah. That, I think, is a really good example, too. Can we talk about it? Viper, do you know about that?
Is he ulting?
No, he's on his main account. He came back.
Is he really?
Yeah, he came back on his main account, played, but like I think by the time he got back in here and started playing, his reputation was so deep in the gutter that he didn't even care. He played for maybe a season and he hasn't done anything since.
I did not know that he had come back.
It was very quiet. All of his friends had left. the shady Tree Forest 2 players that had played along with him on his alt account, not all of them had left, but most of them had stopped playing. And his close buddy Lears, I think, had stopped playing as well. So he didn't really have much motivation to play again once he came back.
I mean, I do remember, like, I know some, like, ex-Tree Forest players that I've talked to will swear up and down that he never cheated in any official ever.
Sam was telling me that there is a clip or a demo of him jumping while rebbed in.
Oh, I've seen it. I have seen it. It was on Lakeside.
Yeah. So for sure he did it, at least in scrims, if that was a scrim. I don't know if that was a match or not. I'd have to get it from Sam and double check logs and stuff, but that's a lot of work.
I mean, he doesn't play anymore, right? So.
No, he doesn't play anymore.
Yeah, I mean that is an example of someone coming back, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I did
also
mention on the forums that he'd come back once his ban was
yeah, but didn't okay, maybe I have my stories mixed up, but I don't know again if this is something I can say. Maybe we cut this out, but didn't we find out that Trey Lon was someone that was not just a random person?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if this is true. But supposedly Traylon was Ice Shank?
That's what
I thought it was heavy. My bad. Yeah, it was Ice Shank, not Heavy Weapons. My bad. So that's a pretty juicy topic, huh?
I don't know if that's true or not, though. I haven't ever seen any evidence of it. I don't even know what cities they live in.
Yeah, I remember that coming up. I thought there was some evidence that was posted in the thread, but I don't have access anymore.
Yeah, Trillon has always like struck me as like a little bit fishy, but I never really like. I know I actually reviewed a demo of him a long time ago when he was joining. When the season that he got picked up by SS, Ice was making a team. One of my friends, and he thought that Traylon was really fishy and wanted me to look at the demo to see if there was something weird about him because he was like worried about picking him up if he was, using something.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really convinced that he was doing anything back then, but he's definitely like somebody that I would like be watching closely if he comes back.
Well, as far as I know, he still uses his Traylon account, and he hasn't been caught alting or anything at TF2 Center, so he's still UGC banned, and I don't think he's on an alt account or anything like that. He probably isn't even interested in coming back once his ban is up. I think it should be up, by the way. 'Cause remember he got banned for posting some dick pics on the forum?
Yeah, I think it was a full year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing that really confuses me about him is after Silver Savages had the season where they played with Traylon, they were going to make a new team with a really good roster. It was going to be like some of the Silver Savages people like Invader and maybe Coldstraw on Medic. I don't really remember who else, but I know it was Invader. And they were going to have Vlad on Sniper. This was before anyone knew that he was cheating. And Dreadnought on Soldier, a bunch of other really good players. And they inexplicably like cut Traylon from that team. They weren't going to pick him up.
I remember that.
When he had like absolutely destroyed Platinum the previous season. So I always thought that was so weird. And I asked them about it, and they got like, they just kind of brushed me off. So I always thought maybe they figured out something about him that they didn't want anything else to do with him.
I love the exact
he was
same
so
thing.
good, and so why wouldn't they pick him up? But they just dropped him.
But anyways, guys, this video is getting really long, so thank you guys for both joining me today. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did discussing this, and maybe you guys will join me again next week. But thank you much for your time, both of you.
My pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good luck to both of you guys in your scrims tonight. See ya.
Thank you.